Thank you so much, Chairman. And good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So then only I'll get energy because I also have just lunch with you. So this all is about approach to green interiors. Approach to green interiors, we actually thought the process maybe 3 years back. Why? As an architect, as an interior designer professional, we design excellent projects with aesthetics, functional remains same. Why it is different? As an architect or interior designer, we actually think positively and meet the requirement of client. Whereas as a green interiors, here there is a slight hairline difference. Here we actually put consciously the effort on the how the materials that we use are having recycled content and are recyclable and less dependence on the Mother Earth. Because whatever you're doing, if you have an existing building, when you pull down the existing building, you are actually damaging the natural resources that has been taken 40, 50 years back. Whereas when you construct a new building, by just bringing down the old building, you are actually putting dependence on the new virgin resources. What we believe green is, if you are able to extend the life of an existing building as it is for next 40 to 50 years, that is a true green building. So this green interiors, we actually developed a conscious effort to meet the Indian climate and Indian context. This has been developed with the help of several stakeholders like you and the leadership of great architect B.R. Ajit and of course legendary Nitin Solapurkar and of course Lina Madam and so many people who actually worked in different principles and of course only uniting to green. So what we done is, we actually put several principles together in this book called as IGBC Green Interiors Rating for India. The approach is very simple. What we followed, this should meet the Indian context and national priorities. What are our national priorities? Water conservation, energy are must. Apart from this, we should meet the occupant comfort. When we're doing this, you should not be below par, right? We should be always on the international level. We should put our India on the world map. So that's why we are talking about on par with international standards. And what about stringency? When you're talking about lower rating, we should encourage them, not just they just got a certified or silver rating. You should encourage that even though they're at least attempting, they should get one rating, right? So with little effort, they should be able to achieve at least simple rating. When you're talking about a great platinum rating or more than that, we should have stringency, we should meet the world-class standards. That's what this rating has been balanced by all these team members. So what is this project interior rating covers? We cover retail spaces, office interior fit-outs, banks, malls, resorts, hotels, restaurants, IT spaces, which are under the rental spaces this category. More to this rating system not only covers a new interior category, our leadership actually felt that this should actually be extended to the existing fraternity also, so that whatever already they have done existingly, they can just have a measure in place and check like you have existing or new buildings or building category, we have a system in place, right, to measure everything, energy, water. There should be a system even for the interior to just measure how much waste you're actually wasting the resources, what is your savings on the water, what is actually you are saving on the energy part, and how you are actually giving comfort to your occupant. There should be a measure in place. So this rating system actually talks about the system of measure for interior space alone. The proven standards that I actually said are actually National Building Code of India, not only 2005, we are talking about present 2015, which Mr. V. Suresh is chairing this chapter called as approach to sustainability only talks about green principles. If you are not doing green today, you should learn to do it because that is going to be the mandate next year. And of course, we are talking about Energy Conservation Building Code, that is ECBC, which is of course there many years. We are actually slightly upgraded to have it linked with our interior system for the appliances that we actually take in the interior fit out. And BE star rating labels, which the government actually come up with a labeling part to give the common man also to just assess the equipments, appliances, without any knowledge also not required, because simple by star labeling, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, it is very understood that it is actually energy efficient. That's what the government has actually come up with a simple rating which everybody is aware of, I think. Then Uniform Plumbing Code of India, we also have a standard in place for our water fixtures. Whatever taps, the flow rates, if a water closet, everything has got a flow rate. You should be minimum plumbing grade flow rates to meet the international par excellence. Since we do not have a standard for fresh air ventilation as of today, still we are actually following something called as ASHRAE 62.1. Many of you are aware of this one. And as in the morning session also we talked about green products. What is meant by green products? It is very difficult to certify a product because every product is entirely different. I cannot compare a carpet with a ceiling because both should be differentiated with the different specifications. Similarly, I cannot compare a wooden paneling with a ceiling. Both are having different specifications. So everything should be certified in different parameters. That is handled by our Green Pro certification, which is under different vertical, which actually linked with under laboratories for testing the materials also. And we are also tied with Singapore Green Building Council, which is actually helping. Even I should tell you that they actually astonished to see how we actually do the measurements, system of measurements, because many people actually just release the standards for green products, but it is not very easy to just give a rating for each product, because you must have known the challenge is that every 6 months we will be seeing a new product launch in every category. So there should be a system of measure how green is that product. So this is the new rating called as Green Pro, which is certifying many products at a very stringency levels. You must be knowing about Blue Angel, which is the world's best certification system for green products. It is Germany manufacturing company, and they actually certifying this certifying authority. It is a non-profit organization also. They actually give, it is a 140-year-old company. They certify products. Even if you say example, I can give example of Armstrong tile, everybody has known, right? There are 14 to 15 categories, whereas only 1 or 2 tiles only are rated under this category. The idea of this green product is that even a child can touch the tile. Whereas when you talk about materials, there are so many toxins are involved in the products. When they manufacture, undergo manufacturing, it has been so many toxins have been involved in the manufacturing process. So what it meant is there are no toxins, completely zero toxins free when I talk about green products. Similarly, we are talking about furniture, there is Green Guard, there is BIFMA, there are so many standards available in the market. This is only to just give an example for you, how this rating system is evaluated. Coming to the weightage, this rating system has got 100 points, 100 scales, 4 levels, certified, silver, gold, platinum. Under existing and new, existing got maximum of 75 points. And both categories, 30% will give certified, 45% will give silver, 50% of the marks will give gold, and 70% and above will give platinum rating. So these are 4 categories available, which will actually give the project the value. This is what we actually evaluated the weightage for each category. We thought the occupant is very important in the interior field, hence we are given 30% weightage for the indoor air quality that we actually thought about. Next comes energy and water. Both are equally important. Next, the interior designer who actually does everything together. He has given important in the eco design approach and of course innovation. Both together it is around 12%. When you talk about economic feasibility, many people felt, what are the costs involved? Does it cost more or less? We did a very critical case study of a call center. I think many of you are aware, call center means it works 24/7, right? We are taking an area of 20,000 square feet of a building with occupants of 440. That means 50 to 60 square feet for each person. So when you talk about water costs where a municipality is 15 to 20 rupees a KL. Whereas when you talk about a water tanker, it is roughly around 100 rupees to 150 rupees a KL. Because a 10,000 tanker costs roughly around 1,500 rupees to 2,000 rupees. Hence, that is the figure. So for this particular call center, the water cost will be 5,940 KL. This is the requirement. Whereas when you convert the fixtures, it is expense is around 1.4 lakh only on the fixtures. That means your water closet will be changed to dual flush. Your taps will be fitted with aerators, simple aerators. Your showers also will be fitted with aerators. This is the additional cost of 1.4 lakh. Whereas the savings which you see, anticipated saving in the second column, 1,980 KL. 1 KL is, I told you, it is 150 rupees. That means 3 lakhs is the saving for the project. When you talk about air conditioning, this project has got typically a 3-star equivalent. That means a COP of coefficient of performance of around roughly 3. The annual consumption is 2,31,000 units a year. When you just change the units to 5-star and equivalent, that is 3.4 and 3.4 above, the additional investment on the air conditioning is 4.5 lakhs. The difference is 30,000 units. That is equivalent to 3.6 lakhs a year. Similarly, light fixtures, if you change from CFL to LED, the CFL cost is roughly 37,800 units that it is actually charging. Whereas when you convert to LED, the savings are around 10,000 units. Once again, it is 1.27 lakh is the savings, whereas the investment was 1.8 lakh on the units, on the fixtures. Whereas CO2 sensors, which require for monitoring the fresh air intake in your interiors, how much fresh air you require in interiors, because the volume of air is required for every person to breathe. When the fresh air is pumped, we require sensors. How much fresh air is there? We require 6 sensors here, each costing roughly around 15,000 to 20,000 rupees. The investment is 1.10. And people say certificate cost and green consultancy is also costly. We'll put together 2.5 to 3 lakhs overheads there. So the incremental investment is roughly 12 lakhs. Whereas the annual savings that you are getting is roughly 8 lakhs. That means the payback is just 18 months. This I want to show because people just feel it is very costly by putting extra investment on the fittings. And the certification flow is very, very simple. It's only 30 days. Once you submit our documentation to us, it is only 30 days review that will get back. You can actually clarify us. Once you tell that the project is ready for clarifications, we'll just come and visit your project and clear it in just a week to 10 days time. That's what fast we can do the certification flow. Not like a conventional certification of 30 days for the first submission, 30 days for the second submission, and once again take 10 to 15 days for the final review. Coming to the key green interior features that we are talking about this rating system are, one is the Eco Vision. We would like to give importance for the interior designer, how he is able to engage the interior architecture with passive architecture principles, passive elements, and how he is able to promote the local craftsmen that everybody talks in the first session. We're talking about the craftsmen, local craftsmen, how can you promote the things, how you can actually engage and design such a way that the space which you are designing will be efficiently utilized, because every product is different. It can be a restaurant, it can be a hotel, it can be an office, everywhere the space is different. So how you can be able to utilize, like in the morning I've seen the same space of conference room can be utilized as 3 or 4 meeting rooms. A same space of meeting rooms can be just divided into your office area, open office area. So that's what we're talking about in a Eco Vision principle here. Second important principle that we're talking about is daylighting. As we have seen the past 2 days, everybody talked about the importance of sun. How can you bring good daylighting and just put less dependence on artificial lights? Here, we actually done a study on the World Green Building Council report. What it says is, when you do not have windows, the biggest reason for disaster in the building is this one. The people will sleep 46 minutes more who have got excellent windows. That is a study done by WGBC, that is World Green Building Council. what is it? Everybody sleeps. Whereas what I'm talking about is the sleeping which is perfect sleep. The perfect sleep we actually normally do is maybe 4 hours or 5 hours in a day. Whereas the person who is having excellent connectivity to outside views or having a good daylight, he can sleep 4 to 6 minutes more. These inputs were not there before, whereas now we have got authority to tell these inputs from the report because they have taken samples from across the world. Daylighting strategies many more. You can have the same building. How the interior designer is going to take the advantage is up to him. He can have a daylight above 6 feet or 7 feet, which will have no glare at all. Because people say you have all round glazing but full of glare. But it's up to you how you design your windows to have no glare at all. You can actually decrease your workstation height or no cabins all over periphery so that the same managers can actually give access to daylighting, because many of the projects which they design green by day one have no cabins. One such project which I designed in Wells Fargo, even the MD don't want a cabin. All conferences, meeting spaces have been kept in the center. Everybody has only sit on the same desk. And the height of the desk is only 1050 mm from the finished floor level. That is roughly around our desk is 30 inches, right? And 1 feet from the 1 feet above is a panel. It can be a simple solid also. Still, every person from the same space can have uninterrupted views as well as daylighting is freely allowed. Many of the projects actually gone for a light shelf where you have a glare. The light shelf acts as a reflector of ceiling and allows the lighting into your spaces. Not only this one, if you got a dark space completely where you are actually lighting 24/7 with the artificial lights, still you can actually get a natural light. How? There is something called as light pipe. Light also travels through pipes. It can travel 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, whatever distance you say. There is a light catcher just in front of the pipe. Once it cuts into the pipe, because of reflections, multiple reflections, it only travels through the pipe and gets down to the basement or 3 floors below also, and you'll get light throughout the daytime. Till the sun is there in the outside, you'll get light. So there is completely zero dependency on the artificial light during the daytime. It's only innovation that actually happens. Coming to fresh air ventilation. Many spaces in the IT offices or any offices which we have seen, there is zero fresh air ventilation. Fresh air ventilation not just for air conditioning spaces you are talking about, or non-AC buildings. Every building, even though it is air conditioned building, should also have openings, because we think there is AC. Example, you actually put off split units in our bedrooms, right? 8 hours or 10 hours you will be running split AC. But you should remember that the split AC do not have any fresh air provision. The same air which is there in the room, it will be always circulated, and once again we are actually inhaling. Of course, today's present ACs, because of the amount of education, they're also providing a fresh air into the new ACs that are coming up. So what we're taking is the standard that you should follow is ASHRAE 62.2. What it says is, when you have an area of 10,000 square feet with 100 people, you should provide a fresh air ventilation or fresh air of 5 CFM for each occupant. Suppose you got 100 occupants, 100 into 5 is the required volume of fresh air. And what about the space? Even the space, for every square feet, you should be able to pump 0.05 CFM every second, every minute into that hall. That's why it is actually variety, because the same space can have 10 people or 200 people, but the volume of air is different. That's why the fresh air ventilation is very important and is one of the mandatory requirements in this interior rating system. And once again, just connecting to this one, I want to give you an excellent example, because many feel energy, water, and your maintenance is a very, very costly item in your buildings, right? I want to prove it wrong. For a 20,000 square feet of building, I will take my example, our own building only. We pay 1.5 lakh units of bill, which is roughly 26 lakhs in a year. Water bill, we pay 25,000 to 30,000 rupees a month. it is roughly 3 to 4 lakhs in a year. Maintenance, we pay 60,000 a month, roughly 8 lakhs in a year. Overall put together, it will be 40 to 45 lakhs. Whereas we have 100 occupants, each person average salary is roughly 5 to 6 lakhs for a normal office. That means we are spending 500 lakhs on these 100 occupants. Even there is a 1% productivity increase, 5 lakhs every day. Whereas the reports proven that it is 11% productivity increase when you have a comfort to the occupant given. Hence, it is 55 lakhs. That means it is just minus. So what we are saying is, if you have excellent interiors, which will take care of the health and well-being of the occupants, we are actually done. That's what this all rating system all about. We are talking about how the occupant is taken care with respect to the comfort. And this is outdoor views. It also helps into relaxing the persons who are sitting inside, because continuous sitting for 8 to 10 hours, we tend to just down our energy levels. Whereas even you get a few split seconds to see outside what is happening, we tend to relax. This is the nature of our people. Hence, we thought this is an excellent thing that you should have in our interior rating program called as outdoor views. Every person from the same seat, if at least rotate his head, you should be able to see, connect to the nature. With a green cover, whether it is outside sky or it is raining outside, you should be able to see. Even the split second will actually relax the person and your productivity will go several times up. These are all one of the green projects we just recently certified. We actually never believed that a bank can have views, right? And this is a project in Hyderabad. This is called IGBC Green Interiors Existing Interiors Platinum Project, where you see 70 to 80% of the desks have got outdoor connectivity. Every desk of this, they got around 60 desks from the space, including meeting areas, the employees of their own, and the visitors also have excellent views outside. This is a wonderful project in Hyderabad. And of course, we talk about this principle of segregation waste. Waste is actually not waste, it is actually gold. So this is a project in Irad, designed by one of the famous architect, Romy Khosla. So what it does is, they got a system in place. People say only have bins, whereas they actually completely implement it in their own design. Segregate your not only wet, dry, e-waste, and also plastic, metals, everything in a complete system which cannot be removed at all from the place. With a proper signage also, because always the education is important through signages. This is already perfectly followed here. And coming to the other category called as solvage materials. This is the actual definition of this one is, when you see a material which is just going to landfills, if a project takes that same material and extends its life to next 10 to 15 years, you are doing something for the Mother Earth. So this is the best credit that is there in the interior rating program. If with this particular project, which is an IKEA project in Chennai, they just taken some timber logs from the Puducherry road. What they did is, they actually seen a damage in the wood. They actually seen effectively, good eye for detail, the architect who has done this one, and actually converted into a wash basin counter here. So you can still see a cutout which is exposed. The same architect actually taken the same Chettinad doors, which are actually lower in height, and actually effectively used it for pantry counters as well as the main door. And of course, the entire central courtyard, the flooring is only the old 100-year-old timber for his flooring. He can still buy a new wood also, whereas he wanted to just continue with the same old wood and extend his life. That's what I'm talking about. Here it is solving its purpose for next 40 to 50 years, many more. So this is what I'm talking about, the importance of solvage materials. You may be thinking it's only home. Let's see a beautiful office by Romy Khosla. It is Volvo office, HR, corporate office in Noida. Here, being a Volvo company, they have many missions. All will come in pine crates. first, before this, I would like to touch upon the exterior facade also. It is not shown here. They got a railway auction. They taken a railway sleepers into place and used these railway sleepers as excellent facade element, which are actually having a dual purpose. One is actually changing the material from same aluminum or steel into the railway sleeper material. Next, it is having a functionality, shading device to entire facade. It is not a small building. It is around 20 feet height building. Entire facade is only covered with railway sleepers and acting as a shading element with combination with the new shading device elements. When he talked to the interiors, he never stopped there. He has actually collected all the crates and used it, because this is the exposed ceiling. Complete slab is around, they got 5 floors. Everything is completely sealed slabs of 4 inches insulated packed slabs. So there is, everything is completely exposed ceiling. So you need to hang the ceilings. So he has gone for a pine wood, which is wasted, which is actually yet to be going to landfill. He just converted into the ceiling as well as the furniture tables. What you're seeing here is all are made from the waste crates that he actually taken from the missions. This is an excellent example for the solid waste material category. And this is a project in Bangalore, Puma store. Whatever you see wood is all completely rapidly renewable materials. Why rapidly? You must have seen teak wood, right? To harvest a teak wood, it takes 35 to 40 years. Walnuts, sycamore, anything you take, it is roughly around 35 to 45 years duration. White oak, 120 years for harvesting. What about bamboo? It is just 3 to 5 years cycle to get bamboo harvested. Not only bamboo, eucalyptus, bagasse, which is a sugarcane waste, all are having excellent cycles of just 3 to 5 years you can harvest and use for your MDF tables, workstation, motor furniture, whatever you want. So what we actually recommend is go for a harvested wood and go for alternative woods, so that we'll put less dependency on the forest. And of course, forest is decreasing several kilometers every year. If you take example of Indian Forest Survey, it is saying that between 2009 and 2011, India has lost almost 190 square kilometers of forest area. That puts enough responsibility on, as a designer, as an architect, on you. So that's what we are actually doing, going for alternative wood and effectively utilize it. And the next one is indoor plants. We will be sitting next to a printer. Printers, I think everybody knows, right? We'll put a big cartridge into the printer. If it is small cartridge, is okay. What about the Xerox machine kind of thing? We'll be putting at least 1 feet of a carbon printer into that one. Every month it will be changing. It will be emptying, right? Where it is going? Entire carbon is only circulating your interiors. It will be just going and sitting into our AC ducts. You are just inhaling the same carbon in your every day, every second you are inhaling the same thing through the AC, air conditioned ducts or any air movement. So what we are going to say is, we are using some kind of indoor plants or existing. They actually just absorb the formaldehyd's present in the air or nitrous oxide present in the air. Very simple that we all normally see, or one is money plant, areca palm, snake plant. These one of the few examples. These plants are air purifying plants. They constantly purify the air. They absorb these formaldehyd's. What I recommend is, through interior design, if you are planning to need space, please go for natural plants which can actually absorb these formaldehyd's, and your health will be safe. Because I'm not talking about just 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You will be working several years there in the same space. So if the air is correctly, if the air is pure, the health is also pure. Otherwise, you need to end up paying extraordinary bills on the medical. And this is one of the ICICI Bank which actually gone for this different kind of plants which are actually working on the same principle. This is one more project called Puma Store. They got a vertical landscaping in the same space. So you actually ask, what is the benefit that when I implement these green interiors principles? Very simple. First, I'm talking about health, well-being of the occupants. This is the first thing that actually this ratings addresses. Next, whatever material that you use are all non-toxic. It can be paints, it can be anything, because when you have just painted a fresh home, can you occupy the second day? You cannot occupy because of smell. Whereas when you go in for a green paint, you can just occupy the same home or office the next day because there are no toxins available or no volatile organic compounds present. And next, coming to the acoustics and ergonomics, every project is different. Every seat or chair that you sit should be adjustable to your posture. So hence, the ergonomics also has taken place. And acoustics, according to WGBC report, it is not 5%, not 10%, not 20%. There is an increase of 63% productivity rate when you have correct acoustics. What is meant by noise? Your mobile rings, all are noise. So if you're able to avoid these noises, have a perfectly correct acoustics in your interiors, the productivity of the person also increases because the concentration level goes up. And of course, tangible, we can just, whatever you measure is your water, energy continuously can measure every month, every year. This is what this rating system actually addresses in a fully fashioned way. And this is India's first green interiors project, ICICI Bank, which has actually done many principles, but to say a few, they got energy efficient LED lamps all over the space. They actually followed ASHRAE standard, they beat by 40% standard, and they actually, through this interiors, they actually written a declaration of the owner stating that from today, we are going to only use recycled paper. Then all their taps have been converted from the old fixtures to new fixtures. They changed the aerators and kept new aerators there. They changed the old systems to dual flush. Entire furniture is eco-friendly. They use non-toxic materials in their interiors. And they actually installed CO2 sensors when they're going for this green interiors rating. And entire facility has got green signage. Green signage assignment is green education. Any visitor just comes into the space without anybody says you should be able to see something. You should be able to learn why this facility is green. You should be able to know something, right? Hence, the signage actually plays a very important role. This office actually put excellent green education signage for each visitor that we actually see. They also actually cared about the employees. They have a permanent dining area so that even the staff can actually go and dine there separately without mixing with the air conditioned space. So these all are some of the features in the existing green interiors that they actually followed. So before summing up, we are talking about 3 R's. Quantity of material that we use should be reduced as much as possible. Please think of reusing material that are outlived its life. And please use materials which have got little recycled content, because these all contribute to sustainable interiors in a big way. Before I leave, I want to leave this simple quote. When you go into the forest to pick flowers or leaves, you only take few blossoms or leaves. When you are done, the forest should look like you have never been there. That's what the quote. Thank you.